Yo, oh my goodness, we are live on YouTube. This is different. I don't know why I was freaking out. I got my energy drink. I got Cassandra. My wife is trying to switch for me, which there really is nothing for her to switch because I'm doing it all from the Stream Deck. So we tried some new stuff. I got some new things we're gonna be trying real quick. But yo, I appreciate everybody that hopped in here, man. CJ, I see you out there. CFW Productions, man, y'all. 6'3". I wish I was 6'3". Your boy is over here like a good, healthy 5'7", maybe 5'8".
Real loud because it's like coming in red.
Maybe like real, about 5'8" right now. Just turn it up and listen. Turn it up real quick. 5'8" right now.
No, that's good.
All right. Real quick, y'all let me know because we're trying to test it with OBS and stuff. Is the audio okay? Audio sounds good to y'all? Like it don't sound like it's too loud because we can dial it back just a little if we need to. Y'all let me know real quick in the chat. And then we're going to dive into it because I'm pretty excited, man. JPM Wedding Filmmaker Bootcamp. Audio is great. Okay, bet. We good. Let's go. Wait. It's a bit loud. Okay, let me just adjust like a hair. A hair. All right, we in there now. Now it should sound okay. We should be good to go. John from the Philippines. Yo, good morning. Appreciate you hopping in here, starting your morning off. Well, let's go ahead, y'all. I want to start because, I don't know how much time y'all got. I know we're all around the world. I want to open it up real quick and just talk a little bit about the JPM Bootcamp because, honestly, I am so excited for this. This is something that I feel like if I was to do a workshop, this is the way that I would want to do it. Where I actually put the ball in your court and push you through some of the paces. A lot of the things that I see, if y'all are following me on Instagram, you following Matt Johnson, I know y'all probably been seeing the, back and forth controversial stuff that he shared and then the video I posted in the podcast and all that. But to be honest, I feel like everything about our style, everything about this documentary reality TV approach seems so out of reach if you haven't been guided through it. And luckily, like I've done so many different things where I finally figured it out. I finally figured out like the right, we can call it strategy, like how you should approach it. Every time I film a wedding, it's entirely different. The story we get is entirely different. But I think the amount of times I've tried and practiced has helped me get to this point where now we're about to do a full-on workshop and I'm about to throw y'all through it. So first things first, the first thing I want to talk about is just practice making progress. This is why the JPM Bootcamp even exists. So what we're going to be doing, opposed to a traditional workshop where it's mostly lecture based, this is where we're going to be doing things. And I'm putting the ball in your court. I'm going to teach you guys how to mic, but not just me doing it. You'll be doing it. So you'll be miking. We're going to do some easy rig practice, easy rig training, full in-depth cross coverage practice, which this is something that I feel like would honestly make more sense to teach in person than it would through even our JPM Live Academy, which will still have some of this stuff up in there. But to really effectively get good at cross coverage, you're going to have to practice it. It's a very fast and reaction-based type of filmmaking. And so with this workshop, you're going to be able to start practicing and doing these things. I know there's a lot of people that are buying easy rigs and using the easy rigs. And I kid you not, I see it all the time. I see people using them wrong, honestly making the easy rig work against you. And so I want to be able to show you the proper ways to use an easy rig. Bring your own camera. As much as I love y'all, I'm not putting my reds in y'all hands. I know. I'm going to bring it. It'll be there. Y'all can see it, but I can't let a whole bunch of filmmakers just practice with the reds. Like this is a big investment, y'all. One drop and I don't even want to talk about it. We're not going to wood. We're going to move on from that. But of course, yes, bring your own camera, Carlos. This is designed so that y'all can fully, so this list that we got on the side, you'll see it's so that you can fully get hands-on with all of these things. And so my thing, what really got me, I would say, comfortable at this style is the amount of pressure and practice that I had. And so what I aim to create with the JPM Bootcamp is that same level of pressure. And what I mean by pressure is when you show up to film a wedding, there's a little bit of, I want to get this right up front. There's a little bit of that feeling of I don't want to mess up. I don't want my client to see me struggling, or I don't want to, drop the ball, or I don't want to make a mistake. that pressure pushes us as filmmakers to always go above and beyond, where we're really working hard to try and dial it in. The issue with typical workshops and the styled shoots and things like that is that there's no pressure. And to be honest, that's unrealistic for an amateur filmmaker or one of you who haven't been doing this for a long time to go out into the real world and now shoot a wedding and feel that pressure for the first time. So one of the things that we're going to be doing that I am super pumped about is our interview segment in the boot camp. And so I get the questions all the time. People are asking, what questions do you ask? How do you know what to ask? Where do you start? How do you approach impromptu interviews? Rather than me explain it in person or explain it in a video where you guys are watching and you're trying to do it, this workshop, so the selected people that show up to this workshop, we are all going to be put on the spot. Now, I didn't want to announce this, but I feel like we should, right? I should talk a little bit about it. I didn't want to talk too much about it, but one of the exciting kind of challenges we're going to do is interviewing in front of the group. And so because I'm going to do it this way, it brings that level of pressure. When you show up to a bride's house for the first time or her parents' home, or even at the wedding, when you're filming, you're going to feel this pressure when you ask a question and they give you a short answer, a short response. So you're going to ask a question like, how are you feeling today? And then they'll just say, good. You're going to feel that pressure immediately. What we're going to do in the boot camp is we're going to practice. We're going to go through, like I said, simulated wedding day filmmaking. But through the interview segment, we're going to actually be practicing. And I'm going to put each person in the boot camp through, I'm going to say rigorous, because I love that word, rigorous interview scenarios in front of the group. So one person asking questions to another person in front of the entire 60 people who will be in person at this boot camp. And the only reason we're doing it this way is to bring that pressure that you would normally feel at the wedding or in an interview scenario. We're bringing that pressure to the workshop. This way you can still practice, you can still get good, but you feel that pressure that you're going to feel when you go out and you try to do this on your own. Outside of that, I'm going to pull this bad boy back up because I love hitting the little slide. But outside of that, we're going to be doing a full lighting workshop. And in this lighting workshop, we're going to cover things like our reception lighting, how we set up the lights for, like the first dances or the speeches, things like that. But we're also going to do a full interview lighting. And this part makes me super excited because, like I said, I want you guys to really have the best possible setup when you leave and go away from this boot camp. And I want you to know how to light. It's very easy for us to watch YouTube videos and watch Aperture put out these dope lighting tutorials. The issue and what I commonly see is that we're not practicing. A lot of people are just watching and consuming this knowledge, but not actually going out and practicing. In the boot camp, we're going to teach you how to do book lights, which is one of my favorite lighting setups. We're going to do some top-down lighting. We're going to do some double diffuse lighting, bounce lighting, just a bunch of different scenarios where we are going to create or light an interview set, whether it's a sit-down interview or if you want to do something more of like impromptu. But I want you to practice. I want to show you how to do this and then allow you all to practice. So I feel like I'm going like a mile a minute, so I'm going to take a second, try to go through these comments. Any questions so far? Beard is distracting. Hey, because it is what it is, Man, if it was not so far, I would have a love to go. Yeah, CFW. So just know that I'm working on something that's going to be a direct response for that comment right there. So because it's so far, just know that I'm working on something that's going to bring it. It's going to basically alleviate that. So just stay tuned for that. I don't want to talk too much about it now, but just know that I got something in the works. How much is the boot camp? So right now we have the what is it? Huh? Early bird. I always blank out on these words. We have the early bird pricing is $349, and that is going to go until January 31st. So the end of the month, you can lock in reserve your spot for $349. We are doing a limited amount, so we're capping it at 60 people. So if you don't get in, once we hit that 60 person mark, we're gonna close off booking, so you won't be able to get access. But if you're a member of the JPM Live Academy, we're not live streaming it into it, but we will have portions of the workshop available to replay inside the academy. Oh shoot, I'm so blind. Europe. Oh yeah. Europe might be a stretch, but I'm not going to say no. I'm not going to say no. A tour would be awesome because I'm in Florida. Whew. A tour would be awesome. I'm just going to drink my drink real quick. Just wait, y'all. I got some exciting things. 2024 is going to be amazing. I really want to give filmmakers more, especially wedding filmmakers. I want you to, I guess, be given the green light to be creative and shoot stories. A lot of the stuff that's out there that people are teaching is rinse and repeat of what's already been there, you know? So I want you guys to be, when you leave away from this boot camp, you will be creatively recharged and you'll have hands-on training with all the stuff that I am doing in my behind the scenes. And so it's going to be pretty dope. I got to bring it over here for that one. That's a long one. When you mic up people, bride and groom, pastor, etc., are you only grabbing audio when you hit record on your camera? Yes. So to answer that question, we use Timecode Recorder. So it's recording nonstop, regardless if you recorded the face or not. But the Timecode allows you to easily sync it. And so, yeah, just speaking of that, let's go into the next slide. So we're going to do a full Timecode workshop inside the bootcamp as well. And so with this Timecode workshop, I'm actually going to have Timecode devices that allow everyone to use. You're going to leave a pro at Timecode. There's a lot of information. There's a lot of videos out there of people talking about Timecode. And to be honest, they just don't use it. So I hate when I see people talk about it. But we use it every single wedding. I have been using it since 2022. I know what Timecode does for the post-production process. Not only that, but for just filming weddings in general and being able to capture candid, authentic dialogue, it's just a game changer. So we're going to do a full Timecode workshop. I'm going to break it down, show you exactly how to use it, show you how to use it if you're doing high frame rates. I'm also going to show you some post-production tips and how to actually get started and be able to use it in post-production. So it's going to be a full in-depth Timecode mini course inside the workshop. But again, you're going to be able to use these devices. So I want you to leave knowing how to work a Deity TC1 or a Tentacle Sync and understanding exactly how to use it. Man, y'all rolling in with these comments. I'm so blind. I got to pull it up over here. So what that other one say? Think I'm going with my wife and I from Cali. Hey, Drew, would love to have you out. If you can make the trip, man, honestly, it would be amazing. We're going to have, like I said, it's going to be packed. So if you also have a second shooter, you film with a team, this would be a really good workshop to bring your team to, because when we get to the cross covers portion of the workshop, that's where it's going to be like, I'm telling you right now, like you haven't directed until you start doing cross coverage. That by itself is worth the $349. I kid you not. Like cross coverage, when I found out about it and I started practicing it, it's something you have to practice. It's not something that you can just hire somebody and say, hey, we're going to do cross. You've got to practice this. It's something where Connor and I, we're so in sync that we can just bounce around and we understand how to do this. It's almost like a dance between two filmmakers without actually being close. So this is going to be exciting to be able to show you exactly how to do it in person. Yo, Trav, what's up, man? New York. I'm not a wedding filmmaker yet. I want to get into it, though. I shoot more wedding sports. Where's the wedding boot camp? So the wedding boot camp, I guess I can keep going, and then I'll just read comments from then. So the wedding boot camp is actually at the Vidir. So the Vidir Estate is here in West Texas or East Texas, fairly close to the Austin airport. So if you're traveling in from out of state, you'd fly in essentially into Austin. And so the Vidir opened up their entire building to us. So we're going to have access for 8 hours, and we're going to go through the bridal prep, the groom prep, the cocktail hour, the ceremony, both indoor and outdoor. I'll show you ceremony placements, lighting for ceremonies, as well as for your reception lighting for first dances, toast, how we set up the toast and do the horseshoe. So the video we posted on Instagram, and everybody was like, yo, that's crazy. You made it about the videographer. I'm going to show you why there's not another setup that works better than that. It makes it more about the person speaking, allows for optimal coverage as a filmmaker and photographer. And honestly, it makes the couple more relaxed and be able to enjoy what's being said about them. So we're going to go through all of that being held at the Vidir Estate. Were you about to say something? Oh.
I was just
Okay. Let me go back on here. I gotta figure out a better way to look at my comments. This isn't. I don't like this. So the next time I go live on YouTube, we're gonna figure this out. Will you upload more behind the scenes of weddings on YouTube, like the full hour-long entertainment? So we're back and forth. We're gonna have some behind the scenes here. If you haven't, if you're not familiar, we launched our full JPM wedding or JPM Live Academy. This is basically our online course. It's subscription based, so you can become a member. And the reason I did it that way is so that the cost to enter is extremely low. You could pay $60 and be a member for an entire month and gain access to the entire catalog of content that's already there, including 1 hour behind the scenes fully narrated by myself. So you get like more of a director's cut type of behind the scenes. You also can be a part of our weekly group mentor calls. This is where we hop on Google or Zoom every week. And basically, it's just kind of like an open discussion with me and all the members. And we just talk about anything you need, whether it's planning for a wedding, you've got questions, you've got editing questions. We do monthly wedding film critiques. So you can upload a film and we can review it there. I can give you feedback. And we always do our wedding film critiques and focus on a different category. So one month we did framing and composition. Another month we did sound bites. So I was critiquing like interviews and sound bites. So we just continue to look for something different to critique you on so that you can polish all the various aspects of shooting a wedding. If you want to become a member there, that's jpmliveacademy.com. Can you pop that in the chat just so that they have that link? Not because I'm on that old cheapskate plan. Oh, Evan. Oh man, you're it's not the cheapskate plan. The reason I got rid of Starter Monthly, just to be honest, is that I wanted everybody to have access. I hated having people invest even $20 and still not be able to be a part of the mentor calls or the live workshops or even be able to communicate with myself or the team. I wanted to open it up for everybody. So now if you become a member, there's only one tier. There's the premium monthly or you can pay yearly. But it's just so that there's no gatekeeping. You're fully a part of everything. So if you do change though, Evan, I will be honest, if you change to one of the other memberships, you won't be able to sign back up on the Starter Monthly. So that's a grandfather plan. You can keep that for life. I'll never kick you off of it, but if you ever change it, just know that you can't go back to it. Operating out of Jamaica, I may be able to make it to another boot camp. Yo, OC Imaging, man, you came all the way from Jamaica. We're gonna wild out. No, I'm just messing with you. But no, seriously, we're gonna do some things in the future with the JPM Bootcamp. I have a really, really good feeling about this. I feel like this is going to be just the start of something even bigger. And so in the future, I think there's going to be something that would make it easier for you to travel to, especially coming from Jamaica. Is it good to get dialogue interviews before the wedding, as in days or weeks before, or try to get it all there in order to piece it together? That's a good question. Jeremiah Coleman, appointed by Jeremiah Coleman. To answer that, to be honest, it's kind of both. Like you can get backstory and you can get as much information about the couple as you can before the wedding. The issue is that when you're trying to, and we talk about this fully inside the JPM Live Academy, we talk about connecting sound bites and motivating and directing scenes. In that module, I kind of talk about this. When you're trying to connect a moment, that's when you need an interview. So let's say you have a moment that takes place with the bride and her sister in the bridal suite. And it's just like a very sweet moment. Without having context, without having more kind of explaining why this conversation happened, the viewer, the people that are watching, even the couple sometimes, they may not understand why this was put in their film. But when you have a moment with like the bride and her sister, and then you interview the sister about what just happened, that's my favorite question to ask. What just happened? Even though you filmed it, what just happened? Cassandra, what just happened? And then they tell, oh my God, I was just in there and she came over by me and literally, I just can't believe it. Like I remember us being little girls and now she's getting married. And you use that soundbite, that interview to connect, to cut in and out of the moment that took place. So to answer your question, you need both, to be honest. Recently, when we first started the style, I did all my interviews before the wedding, and up until October of 2022, October 2022, I did a wedding for my buddy Mitch, and we filmed his his honeymoon out in Hawaii, and I did all their interviews in Hawaii. And what was dope about it was I got the backstory, and I was able to talk all about the wedding, all the key things that I had remembered took place from the wedding, all the moments that took place. And then I was able to connect the wedding and the backstory, and I got the interview at once. So it's kind of up to you. You can connect and do it all at the same time, or you can do it before, you can do it after. I think doing a post-wedding interview for sure will just allow you a better way to connect moments that took place during the wedding to the film. I've been an assistant on the wedding. Oh, hey, we got Cody in here. Let's go, man. How many interviews would you say is a solid amount to be safe for a full edit? I know it comes down to what the sound bites are, but if you grab people, so Cody, Killer Frames, that's kind of up to you. Let's say, for example, Mitch and Kaylee, the film that trailer's on our Instagram. I only did interviews technically of him and her. So Mitch and Kaylee, the bride and groom, I only did interviews of them. During the wedding day, I got sound bites of moments that took place throughout the rest of the day. So like, I remember right after the ceremony, I grabbed his mom and I talked to his mom for a quick second. I did stuff like that, just run and gun, but that was directly relating to something that just took place during the wedding. But in terms of sit-down interviews, I only got 2. Now, flashback to Vanessa and Jason, we got 9. And so all those interviews kind of weaved us and kind of helped narrate the story. So I don't think having a certain number of interviews matters. I think what's more important is knowing how you're going to use these interviews. That's the biggest thing. And so I haven't done this yet in the academy, but I will do a full kind of game plan session where, you know, I show you like the beat sheet that we did for like Dustin, Brianna, or even Vanessa and Jason. These the longer 3-4 day weddings that book us, I have to organize kind of what's going to be the talking points, what's going to be the story, you know, how am I going to piece this together? And then in between that, using the B-roll from the wedding day or the other events to connect it all. Ooh, man, y'all on fire with these questions. Let me see if I can make this a little bit bigger. Get a little sip of this drink real quick. How helpful is a shotgun mic versus some classic omnidirectionals? So that's a great question. Right now, if you took anything away from my kit, I would tell you take all my mics, take all the timecode stuff. I personally feel like I get way more sound bites than I do with the people that are mic'd up. The mic'd up stuff, to be honest, is just to capture the stuff that's happening organically. When I'm far away from them and I want to still be able to get good audio. And so I mic up so many people, half the time, the person that's wearing the mic is just picking up the person next to them that's talking or saying something. Because I don't have everybody mic'd, but I got a good amount of people mic'd. You could get so many interviews, so many sound bites with just a good shotgun mic, So don't go out and buy a $40 Amazon special. You got to invest, all right? Audio gear is one of those things, just like storage, just like tripods, it's boring. You buy a good mic and nobody really notices that you got a $900 microphone on top of your camera. Nobody cares. Nobody looks at that and goes, ooh, that microphone looks expensive. Like, you don't get immediate value or immediate satisfaction from audio gear. But that's one of the things that you just can't skip on. You got a lot of people out there that will tell you, oh, go buy this $45 microphone. Don't do it. I promise you, there's a clear quality difference from an inexpensive audio mic and a more expensive pro level mic. So mics that get you going, I think the Sennheiser or even the Audio Technica, I think it's the AT897, the Rode NTG4. Those are good kind of entry level shotgun mics. Like, they're priced pretty decently. If you want a pro level mic, depending on the camera you got, the Rode NTG3, that requires phantom power. So if you're shooting on a mirrorless camera, that one won't work. More pro than that is like the Sennheiser MKH416. Like, there's some good options out there, but I think honestly, we even still use the Rode NTG, the video mic NTG. I think that's like a $200 microphone, runs off a 3.5 cable, plugs right into the Panasonics and stuff. We use that and I get great sound bites. It really depends on the mic that you're using and how you're getting these sound bites.
Drew was asking, will we be able to play with the shotgun mics as well?
So in terms of what we're going to use for audio, That's a good question. I didn't think about using shotgun mics. I am going to have a bunch of lapel mics. Like we're going to have Sanken Cos 11Ds. We'll have some of the Sennheisers. We'll have the receivers. But that's a good question. I honestly might, I'll add that to the list, Drew, and do kind of a shotgun shootout just to let you hear the differences, because there's so many of the sound bites that you hear in my films, even having 15 people mic'd, majority of the sound bites still come from the shotgun mic because it's just quick. You can run up next to somebody. You could see somebody emotional and just go, hey, why are you so emotional? She's so pretty. And boom, you got sound. And that mic works. I'm telling y'all, like the NTG3, I've had that mic since I had a Nikon D7200. Look up that camera. Look up the Nikon D7200. Since that camera, I've had Nikon, Sony, Blackmagic, and now Red, and the same microphone is running strong today. This is what I mean by if you buy good audio, good quality audio stuff, you're not going to replace it. It hurts when you bought it. When I first bought that NTG3 for $700, it hurt 6 years ago. But now it's like, man, like I couldn't see myself with another mic because it's so good. Have you ever been disappointed when you wasn't able to get an interview you wanted or soundbite because the time schedule was so tight? So Left Leg Production, that's a really good question. And yes, I have. One thing that really, my first wedding this year, and I think I talked about this in the first episode of the JPM Uncut, the podcast. It was so fast. It was so fast paced that I didn't get nearly as many interviews as I needed to. The good thing is that I am still doing post-wedding interviews with this couple. So I'll be interviewing like the parents and stuff like that. But yeah, I hate when that happens. And it's very frustrating sometimes because you know that there's a story there. You know that there's a soundbite you need, but you physically can't stop or you have to keep going because the next event's going to happen or the next thing's going to happen. I think what I've done and what I've learned is to use my assistant a little bit better, where the wedding we did January 12th last weekend, I had him filming most of, kind of the girls prep, guys prep, and I was off doing these interviews. So during cocktail hour, I'm pulling people one at a time for interviews, and he's filming the bride and groom portrait session and stuff like that. So we are starting to make use of this time a little bit better, but it is very frustrating. I have the NTG2. Is that one good? Yes. So Kazi, the NTG2, NTG4, the 4 Plus, those are all good mics, honestly. Like the shotgun mics, the closer you can get it, I think they're all going to have good pickup. You'll notice like a huge like richness difference when you go to like the NTG4, but the NTG2 is solid. Like if you're going to buy a new mic at this point, I would say wait and go all the way with like an NTG3 or even a Sennheiser MKH416. Also, I don't know if y'all know this, but you can rent this stuff for so cheap. You can rent an MKH416 for like $80. $1,000 microphone. You can get amazing audio quality for like $80. You can't tell me right now that you're shooting weddings and you can't afford $80 because that most of you are filming weddings for thousands of dollars. $80 for a really like pro level mic is like a no brainer. So if you want really good sound bites and you can't afford to go buy it, because I get it, this stuff is expensive, go rent it. And if you're not shooting that often, like we got weddings almost every weekend. If you don't have weddings back to back to back like this, don't go out and buy $1,000 mic or $10 or $5,000 worth of audio gear. Like just rent it. You can rent Tentacle Syncs. You can rent MKE2s from Borrow Lenses. So you can rent this stuff for very, very cheap and use it the few times that you need it throughout the month. Yo, Robert, man, hopped in the chat. Let's go. Dude, I had this thought this morning. I'm going to text you after this, but I would love to incorporate you in some capacity because I kid you not, if y'all don't know Robert Machado, like this dude is working on some crazy stuff, this stuff for Netflix. I mean, he's an amazing cinematographer. And I've been following you for a long time, man. Your videos are awesome. Your lighting breakdowns. I love I think it was the chef's video with like all the different, like they were trying to be chefs or whatever. You did the full lighting breakdown, or it might have been a dating thing out by the pool. But your stuff is sick. And so I'm going to message you about some stuff, but you should rent an Alexa for your next wedding. Dude, I don't even want an Alexa. I'm going to be honest. I don't think I want an Alexa because the 16-bit compressed raw from the reds is just too good. It's like it's too good. I don't want to switch to Ari and then have to go to uncompressed raw. I'm good. I'm all right. What's the best way to book your first wedding? So the best way, I think right now, today, if you were to start a wedding film business, it's going to be social media. It's going to be get a few projects under your belt, shoot some stuff for free or really low budget. There's a million couples always looking for a low budget wedding film. Trust me, $100 or not 100, but like $500-$600 wedding film. Do it, film it, edit something that you can, and then start posting on social media, y'all. Like I can see my wife burning a hole through my brain right now because she's like, yes, social media is the key. If you're not posting, that's where your couples are. So if you're not posting, if you're out here spending all this money on, Wedding Wire and The Knot and all this stuff, they're not there. They're on social media. They only go to Wedding Wire and The Knot when they get engaged. And then it's a nightmare because everybody and their mama is on Wedding Wire and The Knot. But if you're on Instagram and you're posting regularly and you're building a following, you're getting social proof, you got all kind of cool things, you're bringing them into your brand, that's what's going to get you booked. I get booked more times from couples who are just like, we love your energy. We love the vibe. Most of my couples don't even talk about my films. Like, they know it's going to be good, but they're like, yeah, we want you because you're just so fun. You're this, you're that. They know the experience they're going to get just from one glance at my social media. So that's my ticket to you. If you're going to start, if you're really trying to book, be active on your social media, post stuff. Like, don't overthink it. My wife taught me that. Don't overthink it. Just be active. Post anything. You had a good sound bite. You had a good bride's reaction walking down the aisle, whatever. Post it, share it, talk about it. Be vocal about this stuff. Your couples, they don't want to just see pretty anymore. They want to know you. They want to know, like, okay, if I hired Drew, what's this experience going to be like? So show them that on your social media. Whoo, let me get another drink. Man, y'all are coming through with these questions. I love it. How much should we charge for a wedding shoot? I have no idea. Honestly, like, I hate to get into the pricing thing because, like, we charge $10,000 and another filmmaker charges $10,000 and we're doing two different things. Like, I don't think at this point the figuring out what you should charge should matter. I think what should matter is how you're selling it, because to be honest, a good car salesman can sell you a 10-year-old car and make you feel like it's better than the newest car that's out. I know that's kind of like skating around your answer, only because I do think at some point how good your films are, the quality of your films, your demand can also impact it. Like, if you're just starting out and you're not being booked, no one, I'm not saying no one would book you for high prices. I just think it's going to come down to the quality of your work and how you're selling it, how you're creating value. So that's an entire different conversation we can have, but that's kind of how I feel about it. Robert says, yo, social media is legit a full-time job. It is 100%. I guess I could quickly shout out my wife. She does, if you look her up, CRP Strategy, book a consultation call with her. She'll, analyze your entire social media, give you pointers and tips. She's got a few clients right now. She's helping just get out of their own way and post content. She's giving you strategies and game points on how to get, past that. We, as creators, we hit a level where we're like, it always has to look good. And I kid you not, everything, the past like 20 posts has just been iPhone clips of us. Like, we'll post something for social media and I'll never turn on my cameras. So, yeah, there she goes chiming in. Just practice. No, but okay. So, yeah, I'm gonna start doing that. Okay, cool. But yeah, so again, y'all, if you, let me pop this up. If you are interested and you want to be a part of the JPM Wedding Filmmaker Bootcamp, this is going to be March 6th here in Texas at the Vadera Estate. It's definitely something that, like I said, it's geared to make you, or geared to get you the experience, the hands-on experience. I don't want it to just be lecture-based. We're going to be going through the different spaces of the venue, hands-on training, and a lot of, we're going to call them fire drills. So there's going to be a lot of fire drills. But again, the goal is so when you leave this boot camp, you have gained not only knowledge and hands-on experience, but you have more of a clear idea of how you would shoot your next wedding. And so the goal isn't to show you guys or have you show up and just, be bored to death sitting down and taking notes, because I don't think anybody learns that way in a creative field. You got to get your hands dirty and practice and do this stuff. So I talk about it all the time. But if you want to sign up, if you want to, we've got limited spots left. It's justreportedmedia.com/JPM Bootcamp. I think I got the little banner down here. I don't know. Is the banner up? Okay, the banner's up. So you go to this website, which is probably like somewhere right here. So go to that website. And yeah, so any questions though, as always, y'all can always reach out to me on Instagram. I'm always active in the DMs. If you're an Academy member, we'll have a group mentor call this Wednesday. So we do these weekly. Huh? Oh, tomorrow. Yeah, Wednesday's tomorrow. So we have a group mentor call tomorrow for any Academy members. But yeah, I just wanted to pop that banner up. I'll keep answering questions. Y'all keep hitting me with them. That's a good convo. It was. It's really good convo. Yo, just did my first go at a documentary reality TV style. I am part of the membership. Could I send it to you to review? Yo, John, of course. All right. So shoot me an email. If you're a premium member, post it. Post the link inside our Academy. Post it inside the community so that we can all watch it. All the members can watch it and give you feedback. But I would love to check it out. A lot of y'all are crushing it as members, man. I've been so happy just being able to see it. I think we had Matthew Reed post how he was micing up, a bunch of the bridesmaids. This is really dope to see because it's truly going to help, revolutionize the wedding film industry. It's going to make it where wedding films become a necessity, not just a luxury item. Like there's some couples who are just like, oh, we didn't get a videographer. That's not going to be a thing. That's not going to be a thing where it's like optional. Yo, did Deity just hop in the chat? Oh my, I wasn't even going to talk about sponsors, but Deity just hopped in, y'all. All right, well, cat's out the bag. We're going to have some dope sponsors for the JPM Bootcamp. I wasn't supposed to talk about it tonight, but Deity is here. So I got to acknowledge the fact that Deity is going to be giving us some pretty sick stuff to give away at the JPM Bootcamp. So that by itself, if you were to win one of the Deity prizes, by itself, worth a ticket. But yeah, so we got some pretty sick sponsors. Deity, thank you so much for hopping in here. This is dope. This is super dope. Yeah, I'm pretty excited. I'll screenshot that just so we can post it and be like, yo, Deity, showing love. I have the Canon R5, but too worried about the editing aspect since I've never edited any footage. What do you mean the editing aspect? You got to give me a little more insight on that, Jerome. You're the Teddy Riley of wedding cinematography. I've been thinking about getting a Deity mic too. That's crazy. They hopped in when you were thinking about it. They're like, yo, let me go ahead and bless this chat real quick. Man, the time code portion of this workshop is going to be fun because I'm really going to put, is that banner still up?
Yes.
I'm really going to give you guys you're going to leave and know how time code works. It's not going to be a guessing game. And to be honest, when I first started my time code stuff, it was crazy how there's a very small, there's a lack of information that's out there. And I feel like those that are currently using time code aren't making YouTube videos. Like they're Hollywood DPs and stuff like that. They are not on YouTube. So the YouTubers don't make time code videos because there's no need for time code. So yeah, it was really tough. But we're going to put the ball in your court. Switching from the FX6 to Komodo X. Bro, I'm telling you, Cody, as soon as you open up the Komodo X, your cinematography will go from, if you're at a 9, it's going to take you to a 19. Wherever level you consider yourself to be at, you're going up 10, regardless. Because that camera, the red system, I don't even want to make this a video about red. Y'all see, I'm going to have the red at the workshop. And so you'll be able to mess around with it, the Raptor and the Komodo X. When I tell you that these cameras see the world differently, it blows my mind how amazing it is. It really does see the world differently. Entirely different. Yo, Evan with the super chat. Let's go, bro. Appreciate you, man. Thank you for the love. You didn't have to do that, but I definitely appreciate it. Matt Johnson recently posted a timecode tutorial. I saw that. And I have to make my video. So Tascam also sent me the DR10L Pro. I'll have a video up very, very soon about it. It is a great timecode solution. The issue with it, though, is the cost to enter timecode. What's not being talked about, these devices do offer timecode, but they're restricting you to a specific ecosystem, which is a no-brainer. Like you don't want to buy a timecode device that tells you you can only use it with this stuff. You want to buy timecode devices that's basically unchained. It's like unlocked, like an unlocked iPhone. You want to be able to use it with any carrier. You don't want to be locked in to one carrier. The issue with the Tascam DR10L Pros, they only work with the Ultra Syncs. So if you guys remember when I first started my timecode journey, I had Ultra Syncs. Those are $280 a generator. Okay, the Deity TC1 is $199 a generator. So huge cost difference. It's just, even Deity chiming in, sadly, you can't because the Tascam systems are all locked into the UltraSync Blue. Yes. And so another issue is that the UltraSync Blue only allows you to connect to 6 devices at a time. Now, this might not sound like a big deal, but we show up by itself. We show up with like 5 cameras. We've got our Zoom recorder. We've got all our microphones. So if you're relying on DR10L Pros and a recorder, you're only allowed to mic 4 people that's going to connect to that UltraSync Blue. So this is the issue. You don't want a system that's locking you into one type of thing. You also, in my opinion, don't want a system that can't physically be jam synced. If it can only be jam synced through an app or through some Bluetooth device, you don't want to deal with that because that stuff goes wrong. Your Bluetooth device might mess up and you have no other way to jam sync your Tascams. With systems like the Tentacle Sync or the Deity BP TRX or even the Deity Theos, you can use the app to sync it, or you can use their native devices to sync, or you can use any timecode device, plug in, and then jam sync them that way. So there's a lot of different things that's not being talked about when we talk about the Tascam DR10L Pro or even the X8. They're great, don't get me wrong, but the cost to enter and then the limitations and the restrictions makes it something you don't want to invest in. So I love that Deity isn't here because it's not just me. This is the brand, y'all, that's also telling you. I'm not. This isn't me. You know what I mean? Like I'm not just saying it. You can only pair one DR10L Pro to a phone. I'm telling you, it's crazy. It's like, I'm gonna make my video. It's a good product, but I think honestly, for $199, and then you have to buy the Bluetooth dongle. You didn't say that, Deity. We got to put that in there. Even to get the DR10L Pro to work, you got to purchase the $40 Bluetooth adapter that's not included with it. So now your $199 recorder is $240. At $250 for $10 more, you can get a Tentacle Sync Track E 32-bit float, and you get the app control and the ability to jam sync it with any timecode system. So telling you, like, there's a lot there. I don't want to start my rant on timecode. Let's just move on past it. Plus, I think Deity went ahead and just like laid the hammer. So we're just waiting on the PR2s, Deity. So just saying, you ain't here. We're just waiting on the PR2s. Let's get it. Andrew, blink twice if Deity is holding you hostage. Nah, man, I'm telling y'all, like I feel like I represent certain brands, or I speak about certain brands that I get super passionate about, Deity being one of them. It's because the tools are that good. Like, it's just, when something works that good, it's hard for me to just be like quiet about it, you know? And I use this stuff every single wedding. Basically every weekend, I'm running timecode systems, using the Easy Rig, you know what I mean? Interviewing, I'm doing this stuff weekly, not once or twice a year, like a majority of, we'll call it YouTubers, right? YouTubers, they just make content, they post a review, they read the spec list, and then you go out and buy it thinking it's perfect. And then you realize once you get it in the field, it's not the right tool. All the products that I feel like I'm passionate about recommending, I use in the field all the time. Every single wedding, every single, event that I shoot, I'm using this stuff. So it's very easy for me to recommend it. But yeah, so Deity, gotta go. Thank you so much for hopping in here. Appreciate the love. That was dope. I wasn't expecting, I didn't know that they would even hop in. That's pretty dope. Manual Cruz went for the Sony A7 IV. They got whole side combos happening. Deity just used GTG. So it's definitely someone who used AOL running. Evan, why you come at him like that, bro? Don't do it. Don't do that. Don't do that. Robert Machado, JPM. What I miss? What I miss?
Somebody asked, I need a beginner's boot camp, and they said it's called the JPM Bootcamp
Oh,
for the time code.
wait, Rob, you're not using time. You're using time code. You gotta be using. There's no way your
No,
shoots.
somebody said that before. And
Oh,
he answered.
okay,
But
okay.
Jerome Lynch Photography said, listening to all this, I need a beginner's boot camp.
Got you. Okay, okay. Whew, can I use the Sennheiser Live with the Rode products? Your audio always sounds so great. So you can. The problem with a lot of things is that you can't use Sony terminated lavs with Sennheiser terminated devices. It's weird. The way that you terminate a wireless or a lapel mic for a Sony receiver is different. So when you end up plugging it into basically any other recorder, it doesn't work right. My best, I would say, if you were to go out and buy like a really nice microphone, some of them like the Sanken Cos 11D will say Sony or Sennheiser. Buy the Sennheiser version. That's basically going to open it up for any type of recorder or audio recorder. Sony is specific to if you're plugging it into a Sony device. So yeah. But yeah, technically you can use them with pretty much anyone. 12,000 native ISO is crazy. Ah, man. Yeah. We're going to talk about that too, because, I feel like lighting and ISO and all this stuff, it makes you, it makes you shoot differently, and I think understanding how to light makes your whole production look better. Not just one part of it. Your whole production will look better. Have a lot to learn. Manual, using AIM is crazy. All right, so I think that's about it, y'all. We've been in here for an hour. Any last questions about the boot camp? What to expect? Anything at all? Try to go through some of these older comments too on here. Hopefully your workshop, I can fill out the Easy Rig. Yeah, so Manual, we will have a full Easy Rig tutorial and setup. So everybody at the workshop will be able to use the Easy Rigs. This is why the bring your own camera is on the website. But everyone at the workshop will be able to use the Easy Rigs. I'll explain and demonstrate how to properly use it, how to make sure that it's balanced correctly, what it should feel like versus what it shouldn't feel like. And then we'll actually do some hands-on practicing. We'll also be using the Easy Rigs for the cross coverage portion, the ceremony covers, the reception speeches. We'll be doing a bunch of things for that as well. Boot camp is only one day. Yes, Jerry. So the boot camp is Wednesday, March 6th. It's just the one day. It's my first one, so I didn't want to go with like a 2-day, 3-day. I didn't know, we're testing the waters with this one. It's another reason why we're keeping it only at 60 people. In the future, after this one, we're going to have more things that I want to do. But this is just going to give me a good idea of like how to structure and just kind of, like I said, get my feet wet with this. So, but yes, one day. And right now it's tentative, but we're planning to do some evening kind of meetup. It's optional. So after the boot camp, it'll be over at 5. And then that evening we can all meet up and do something. That's still tentative. We haven't officially locked anything in yet, but that's kind of just giving you an idea. Like we'll spend the day at the venue and then the evening we're planning to go somewhere and kind of have like an open meetup for anybody that wants to join. Killer Frames, autofocus decent on the Komodo X. Yo, the Komodo X, the autofocus is good. Like I used it. I honestly use it more than I thought I would, especially for like ceremony, getting like reaction shots. I just type in, hit the autofocus and just point. It's really quick with RF glass. EF adapted glass. It's not bad, but it's not. It kind of reminds me of like a Sony A7S II. It's not as fast as what the cameras are today. With RF glass, it's like boom. It's almost instant. Like it locks on quick. So just give you some feedback there. Possibly a future boot camp on a weekend. There's a good chance. We film a ton of weddings, and so I know most wedding filmmakers are booked on the weekend, and they're depending on the filmmaker. There's never really like a slow season. Like if you live in Florida, you don't really experience Januaries where there's no weddings because it's always nice. So I'm probably gonna keep it during the week, but we're gonna have, like I said earlier, some options for bringing the boot camp to different places. So stay tuned for that. Vishal, what's up, man? Justin is so incredibly talented that I'm almost reluctant to let the videographers discover this unique style. However, I truly wish for you to gain fame. Man, I appreciate you, man. I'm looking forward to hanging out with you at the wedding in February. Vishal is one of our Academy members and had the pleasure of meeting him up in Toronto at Profusion. And so I'm going to be filming an Indian wedding. And so he's going to be a part of that, shoot some behind the scenes and kind of hang out with us. So you'll be able to see like the full, rip the Band-Aid off. You're going to be thrown at the fire. You're going to be seeing all of it happen. So it's going to be pretty dope. I'm hoping I can bring more of that to our Academy members. It's just really difficult because I think the last one we did was with Sydney up in Rhode Island. The day goes by so quick that I truly forget that you're there. I'm just so tunneled in when I'm working that it's hard for me to slow down and answer questions or show you why I'm doing something. Like I just get locked in and you just got to keep up. So, but I'm hoping I can bring this to the masses one day. Drew, not sure if this has been answered, but how are you going to manage 60 members once the class fills up? So once we get 60 signups, we're going to basically stop. You won't be able to sign up after that. We have the workshop, so it's kind of cool how it's going to be structured. We're going through the day in a simulated wedding day timeline. So we're going to start in the morning as one big group, and then individual portions of the day inside whatever room, let's say we're in the bridal suite, we'll break up into smaller groups, and then I'll go between those groups. So there's a lot of hands-on practice. So if I'm talking about cross covers, then you guys need to practice it. We're going to be able to go through and I'll go, we'll go into smaller groups and then I'll bounce between those groups and kind of give feedback and more advice on cross covers, for example. So it'll be broken up like that. And then we'll have those mini breakout sessions and kind of manage it. And then I'll also have some extra hands that'll be helping me that's familiar with the style, like Connor, who shot every wedding with me for basically the past 4 years. So we'll be able to, manage the group well. This is why I'm capping it at 62, because it's going to be just me. So I don't know. I didn't want to go with like 100 or one. Like I wanted it to be hands-on. And I also want to make sure that I can directly talk to everybody. So that's it. All right. Well, I guess we'll end it there. This has been real fun. If you're a JPM Live Academy member, we got a live workshop tomorrow. If you're not, I would say sign up. You can sign up using the code Game Changer for 50% off your first month if you are not a member. Again, y'all, just to give you some insight on why I did this academy this way, I didn't want to drop a course that was $700 or $1,000. When I was first starting out shooting weddings, there's no way I was affording $1,000 courses. It wasn't happening. It wasn't in the cards for me. If there was a course that was available for me to be a part of and learn as much as I could and pay $60 and come and go as I wanted to, get immediate feedback, be able to be a part of mentor calls and ask questions through video chats, I would have done that in a heartbeat, because $60 is way easier than $1,000. And so I wanted to also do this so that there's no contracts, there's no restrictions. You can come and go as you want. You can engage as you want. And it just kind of opens up the door for you as a creator. So once you feel like you've got enough value, you can stop and then, continue your journey whenever you want. So jpmliveacademy.com. Y'all, this has been real fun. First live stream on YouTube in I don't know how long. It's been at least over a year and a half maybe. Maybe we'll do this a little bit more. So, but that's it. I will see y'all hopefully in the next live stream. And if you're an Academy member, I'll see you tomorrow at noon for the group mentor call. That's it. Peace. I got to end it myself because, oh, wait, I could probably do it right here. Yeah, boom. I can do it right here. All right. Peace. Thank you, Robert.